It's a great honor. It's you put everything you have into racing my whole life, and and into NASCAR for the 16 years that I was part of it, and loved every bit of it. It was a great time, and to be on the list was a very a really neat surprise, and pretty exciting to get that call.
What are you up to these days?
I have a 7-year-old, a 4-month-old, just having a blast with them, doing some dirt racing with sprint car stuff. So I have a couple sprint car teams, and we started a screen printing business out of our racing shops in Mooresville, North Carolina, embroidery and all that. So it's going pretty well, and just enjoying still traveling a good bit.
How much you pay attention to what's going on in NASCAR?
I pay attention pretty much all the time. I mean, I usually know what's going on. I don't watch all the races, but I watch bits and pieces of all of them, and sometimes all of them, depending on the day and what's going on. Tanner just started soccer, so that's something else starting on a Sunday now. But it's great to be here, to be part of this event, this race. Darlington was, to me, always one of the toughest, most memorable, fun racetracks that we went to over the years, and it was something I look forward to every single year.
Kasey, they shared that portrait of all the honorees together. What's that? I mean, can you put into words what it says to be among that group with the top names in this sport?
Yeah, it's just the sport's, it's been around a long time, and there's so many people who've made it what it is today, and and to be part of that list, on that list, is pretty unreal. But yeah, to see so many of them this morning over at that event was a lot of fun. I haven't seen too many people in a while in the NASCAR area, so it felt good to be part of that. It felt good to be there and say hi and hang out all day.
Did you have any idea that you'd be among them? Did you have an inkling when you heard this was coming out?
I had no clue, no idea at all. Just Mike Helton called me on my birthday, and it was a great surprise.
Have you thought about coming back to NASCAR? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, absolutely do. My health was struggling pretty bad there, and this was my final race in 18, and it was as bad as I've ever felt. So I've done a lot since then. I think my body's in a much better place now. It needed a rest, and I've thought about it. I think it'd be great to run a stock car again. I really do.
So do you go through physical therapy all the time, or how did you get your body back to a better place now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just needed a break. Needed a break and needed to understand things that I was going through, some of that stuff. So yeah, it was a long process, but I feel better, feel where I should feel, and that's nice. But the Cup races were tough. They're long, grueling. Depending on the time of the year, they're tough on you. So dehydration to me, is no joke, and I was battling it pretty bad.
Well, with half the drivers on this list are also in the Hall of Fame. Does that make you wonder about your possibility down the road?
It really doesn't. I just, I don't know about any of that, but to be on this list feels really good, and know that I was a big part of, NASCAR during the span that I was involved in it. I loved it. I loved the fans, all of our partners, everybody that was part of the sport. And prior to that, all I did was watch NASCAR races, so I knew a lot about it as a kid growing up, just watching, and I've met all those people over the years, and ran into a good bit of them again this morning.
Kasey, can you talk about, I'm doing a feature on Richard Petty, can you just talk about the King, just what he brings to the sport, what he's done all these years? Hard to put into words, I guess.
Yeah, it is, and he's still the king. He's still, I talked to him this morning, and he looks great. He's, it's just cool to see how big of a part of this sport that he's always been and still is. What he's done behind the wheel, what he's done, outside of the car for NASCAR and for the fans. Such a great following. Everybody knows the king. So yeah, it's yeah, he's an all-time great, always will be, and yeah, it's really special to know him, race for him a little bit there, you know, and work with him at that point in time was a good run. I have one of the coolest pictures I have from my run in NASCAR was me and Richard walking out of the tunnel at Bristol, and somebody captured it from behind, and I'm in the Budweiser suit, and he's just standing next, you know, we're walking out, he has his hat on, and it's in our shop. I don't know how tall, like 7 feet tall or something, you know, the picture. It's really cool. It's a great shot.
You said that this is one of your favorite racetracks. Do you have a specific memory here that it's one of your favorites?
I just, you know, we when we started here, I could always qualify really well. I feel like we were always, you know, battling for the poles. My first, you know, 4 or 5 times here, I think we won most of them or all of them, and got rained out in others. But ran up front, led a lot of laps. Never won this race, and this was always the top race, one of the top races I wanted to win. I felt like we had capable cars and opportunities over the years many different times, just never, you know, finished it off. So it's a tough one to not win, but it was also it's just a tough track, you know, and you can't control everything. So really enjoyed it. There's so much character to the track, and it can, you know, so many different choices you can make in a corner to find grip or not have it, depending on, you know, kind of where you're at.
All right,
Going back to North Wilkesboro, you have any particular memories of Wilkesboro?
I just remember watching some of the races on TV. Other than that, I've never been part of that track, but I remember watching.
There or anything?
I never did. No. I think it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. You know, to watching it.
Is there a bridge between the old school stuff there and now we're doing LA Coliseum and Chicago and stuff? Is it important to go back to places like that?
I think it's very important. I think, you know, just watching some of the recaps recently on what it used to be like. You know, I remember watching some of the races, but I don't remember a lot of the history of it. And yeah, to start to see some of that, you know, to bring this back. They're redoing so many things, but also leaving a lot of the character, a lot of the, you know, kind of the history to it and the look to it. So yeah, I think it's going to be really good for the sport, and I think it'll hopefully last for a long time.